well, Tuesday I had the privilege of sitting down with a gaming icon to discuss the work he's been doing over the last decade to complete The Last Guardian. Here is my chat, and it's a long one, but an awesome one, with a guy who rarely does interviews, Fumito Ueda. Right now, it is such an honor to be joined by a legend in the video game industry. His long-awaited game, The Last Guardian, is coming out in just about a month's time in early December. Ueda-san, welcome to YouTube. It's great to have you with us, and congratulations on finishing the game. We've missed playing games by you for many years. I know you've been working on The Last Guardian for a long time. Now that you've completed development, what is the meaning of the game to you? What do you think it represents in your legacy of all the games you've created?
I'm going to go back in time a little bit. With Shadow of the Colossus, there's a character, Agro. We thought that the character was really just going to play more of a player support role, but the overwhelming response that we got from the fans and the audience who played the game was that they had a very deep emotional connection with the character. And so we felt like, oh, you know what, we should really look in deeper and see how we can reflect and maybe carry over this idea of having a partner in the next game that we work on.
Do you have a pet of your own?
I actually have a cat, not where I live, but where I grew up. And so there are lots of childhood memories that really helped me to come up with the idea for Toriko.
Do you see a lot of yourself in the game and the player character? Do you imagine that being you interacting?
The boy is not, necessarily based on myself or my character or anything like that. But what I can say is that because we worked on it for such a long amount of time, it does feel like I was the owner of Toriko.
This game, obviously, as you said, took you a very long time to create, and as a creator, you always have a vision that you want to share with your fans that have been waiting for it. Was there ever a day that you thought maybe this game would never come out and people would never get to have this experience?
So certainly, there were at times when I felt that could happen. However, we were very fortunate to be seen as a title that was desired by fans and the audience. And so obviously with that comes an enormous amount of pressure. But in the end, it became a very healthy cycle for us to take that pressure and to put it into the game itself.
When you look back over all the years of development, is there one day that was particularly hard for you, or one decision you had to make which was the toughest personal decision?
Clearly, I remember the day that I had to make the decision and accept the fact that we were going to move to a new system, so going from the PlayStation 3 onto the PlayStation 4. What that meant was, which was an answer that we didn't have, was, wow, how much longer is it going to really take for us to realize and have a game ready for the fans to play? So it wasn't just me that had to make that tough decision. It was everyone on the team.
Now, I know, a lot of the folks at Sony, like Shuyo Yoshida, Mark Cerny, everyone's been very supportive of this game. Can you tell me how important it has been to kind of partner with Sony and people like that to help you realize this vision?
They lend the entire team and myself a tremendous amount of support, and because of that, we're here today.
When you are struggling developing a game, where do you look for inspiration? Is there a book that you read or music you listen to? How do you keep yourself inspired when you feel almost depressed about the progress on the game?
When it's tough, when it's rough, and I need to keep myself motivated. It's not maybe necessarily just games. It's all kinds of art, entertainment, or film, that things that I really like and are great pieces of work. They keep me motivated and they inspire me in turn to keep on going. So that's where I look for inspiration. Films like E.T. or Japanese anime Totoro, or even Iron Giant. Those are some work that I really drew inspiration from.
Are there other games that have inspired you? A lot of games have sometimes tried to build these relationships between two characters. Some do them better than others. But are there other games that inspire you as well?
そうですね、先ほども
If I were to think of one, there is a game in Japan called Gambare Morikawa-kun Nigo. And I don't think it was released outside of Japan, but it was basically, there was an AI robot character, but you would control the character by clicking on the mouse. And while that, the idea was great, I just felt like there was too many steps to involve in trying to control that AI characters.
What type of games do you play? Do we see you at home at night, sitting there playing Doom online, or what types of games do you play?
ゲームはたくさんプレイしてると思います。
So I think I play plenty of games. What I do is I go through a selection of titles that are very popular and that people follow. I want to know why these games are doing so well or have a big community or a big fan base. So I definitely check out sort of the top-ranking, high-ranking titles, such as, obviously, Uncharted series, Last of Us. I played through those games. But I also like to look into some more kind of smaller indie titles. For example, Inside. Yeah, those are really the games that are really, very small and compact, but very beautifully done.
Yes.
And so those are titles that I've been playing.
Moving back to Last Guardian, I think a lot of players have been wondering about, what the adventure will be. You've put out some footage recently that suggests there may be another Trico in the world or another character. Can you tell us a bit about that and what other maybe mysteries await us as we play the game?
今ちょうどこれから発表するための
You're right, we sort of teased maybe another Trico. We're actually just wrapping up another set of assets. In particular, trying to really convey the story, the world of the game, as well as a launch trailer. So I'm going to refrain from giving away too much here because that will be coming very soon. But one thing I can say for sure is that when anyone plays this game, and at the end of it, what I'm hoping for is that every single person feels like they know Trico and feels the existence of Trico, that you feel like it is actually really there with you or in front of you. And that's going to vary by person how you feel it, but that's one very important thing that I would like for everyone to feel.
Now, I think a lot of players have been wondering this game, does it live in the same universe as some of your other titles? Is there a link to, other games? Is Last Guardian, is it in its own universe or does it have a relationship to your other games?
ですね、
I have an answer as to whether it lives in the same universe or whether it doesn't, or are they linked? How are they linked if they are? I have my own answer. But I do feel like if I say, one way or another, then that kind of gives it away or it spoils it or ruins it. And so I would want to not do that for the players who are looking forward to playing the game.
You've been through this journey of building this game for many, many years. As you walk away from it now, how do you feel? Do you feel inspired, like I want to go and build my next game and spend 10 years on the next one, or do you want to take a vacation? What is your mind like right now?
残り半分はやっぱり長く
There's a huge relief sort of feeling in me, but that's only half. The other half is, I feel like because of the time spent being with Trico, that I am now having to let go of Trico, and it's a bittersweet moment for me. So that's the other half, and that's how I feel right now. Having said that, the sort of realization that everything has wrapped up hasn't really sunk in with me yet. And it's not just with The Last Guardian just because it took the extra amount of time, but this was the same when we wrapped up Eco, Shadow of the Colossus. I think there's a moment where, after the game ships, and people start playing, maybe a few months, that's when I feel like, everything has sort of come to an end. So I'm still in that phase where, yeah, the game's done, but it hasn't really hit me in that way.
Congratulations on finishing the game, and I hope you and your family get time to relax now and recharge your batteries. I know everyone can't wait to play the game when it comes out in December.